Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Maurice Brown Comedy Show NFL edition on Bog Radio in association with 24 Flicks. We're going to bring out our panel, our usual suspect panel in Port St. Lucie, Florida, for the Port St. Lucie Patriots, Treasure Coast Patriots, in fact, in Port St. Lucie. The field goal kicker and future All-American kicker, my nephew, Caleb Lopes. What's up, Caleb? How are you, bro?
What's up, Maurice? What's up, y'all?
Okay, all right, Caleb. It's good to see you. We're going to bring out our other panelist, Antoine A.S. Stewart from Washington, D.C. What's up, Stu?
What's going on, Mo? What's up, Caleb?
What's up?
So we're gonna dive in and we're gonna look at, first of all, before we look at our headlines, we're gonna look at some scores from last week. A lot of surprising results from last week. I'm gonna start out with Buffalo and the Buccaneers in Buffalo on Thursday night on Prime Video. Last Thursday, it was Buffalo over Tampa Bay 24-18, winning on a Hail Mary miss by Baker Mayfield. Stu, your thoughts on that particular game and the Buffalo Bills' status as contenders?
It was definitely a competitive game. Tampa Bay, they're kind of like that middle of the pack team. They're not really, scaring anybody. Buffalo is trying to establish and show why they are a top team. They've been doing what they've been doing all year. They're playing good enough. They've had some big games to where they didn't show up, and they had some games to where they have. So Buffalo, to me, has shown that they're still kind of like above average. I wouldn't crown them just yet, but they're not bad either.
Caleb, your thoughts in this win over the Bucs?
Uh, the Bills, they came out looking a little bit better initially. They kind of slowed down as the game went on, and Goodwin, right at like you were talking about earlier, Maurice. If he had turned around a little bit earlier, they could have definitely got that Hail Mary off. And I don't think the Bills want to put it up for a chance like that. So I mean, they just gotta play a little bit better football, and uh, they if they want to be a big team, a contender, they got to be playing a little bit better.
Well, they're going to have to play a lot better if they intend to go to a Super Bowl. I can tell you that right now. Not an impressive win in Buffalo. The Dallas Cowboys destroyed the Los Angeles Rams on a game we thought might be the marquee matchup, but instead it was just a blowout. And Dallas has the ability to have these kinds of games to make you think, hey, they're coming. 43-20. Matt Stafford did jam his thumb in that game. I believe by that time it was already getting away from the Rams. The Vikings over my boys, 24-10 over the Packers. Kirk Cousins lost for the year, torn Achilles in that game. But by the time he got injured, he'd already done a number on the pack, and it was a wrap. But the Vikings going forward will not have Captain Kirk for the rest of the season. The Tennessee Titans over the Falcons, 28-23. The starting quarterback for the Falcons, Ritter, went out in that one. The Saints, 38-27. Alvin Kamara starting to look like the Sean Payton days in New Orleans, 38-27 over the Colts. The Patriots blown out by the Dolphins, 31-17. The Giants in a real snoozer. That was just a boring matchup. But the Jets win at 13-10. Jags 20-10 over the Steelers. The Steelers lose Kenny Pickett for a few games. Hopefully they can get him back. They're a completely different ball club with Mitchell Trubisky. The Eagles and the Commanders. And I told you guys, I said, I think the Commanders are going to get these guys. Well, sure enough, they almost did it. Yeah. If for whatever reason they show up against Philly, Stu, your thought?
Oh yeah, most definitely. It was definitely a heartbreaker for the Commander fans. Sam Howell played a great game. He was 39 of 52, 397 yards, 4 TDs, and a pick. Similar to Hurt stats, they both threw for 4 TDs. It was a hard fought game, division rivalry, but the Eagles happened to pull it off at the end. Man, it was definitely a heartbreaker, and because of that, the Commanders are starting to get rid of some of their premier pieces on the defensive side of the ball, and I'm thankful to that. Welcome Chase Young to the 49ers.
Man, what an addition for the 49ers getting Chase Young. Caleb, your thoughts on the Commander Eagle matchup?
Yeah, it was a real thriller, great game, and this is the kind of football that the Eagles, I feel like, excel at. They know how to keep playing. They don't give up, and that's what makes them, I feel, so great. And the Commanders, they played a pretty good game too. I mean, but the Eagles, they play all 4 quarters of football, and that, I think that's why they keep winning, and they win the hard fought games, and that's what's important. Good job to them.
Yeah, excellent job by the Eagles. I mean, the Commanders gave them everything they wanted and some more. And the Eagles just said, "Nah, man, we cannot go down. We cannot lose this ball game." Sure enough, they did pull it out. 38-31, the final. Philly over the Commanders in the nation's capital. The Carolina Panthers over the Houston Texans. Bryce Young getting his first win of the year, proving to everyone, I guess he had a chip on his shoulder, and wanted to show everyone that the Panthers did not make a mistake by taking him before CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud has just cooled off. I mean, he started out on fire, and the last couple of games, I think defensive coordinators are starting to figure out how to attack the rookie, and he struggled. Seattle over the Cleveland Browns in a very, very hotly contested matchup. 24-20, the Seahawks get the win. The Broncos over the Chiefs, 24-9. Shocker. The Ravens, 31-24 over Arizona. Cincinnati going to San Francisco and beating the San Francisco 49ers for their third loss in a row. And Stu, I'm going to turn it over to you. Your thoughts and the state of your 49ers franchise.
Definitely not good at the moment. Thank God it's a bye week this week. This week coming, so we can kind of regroup. But right now we're having some mainly defensive struggles. We started off to be a top of the line defense. You see us now struggling, and word is starting to get out now that the defensive coordinator is having some problems. He's having some issues. Kyle Shanahan has addressed him publicly and trying to figure out how we can get back to playing winning football. So that's kind of what's going on. And also, Brock hasn't been playing his best games lately either. Out of the last 3 games, I think he's thrown for 5 picks. I'm not even sure how healthy he was during this game because they kind of rushed him back through that concussion protocol. So I don't know if he was all the way there. He did make some great throws, but he also had some bad picks in the end. We definitely have to regroup and figure out what's going on in San Francisco, get that defense to play in the optimum level like we're used to and we're accustomed to. And Kyle Shanahan has to get control of this team and get us back to playing winning football.
Caleb, your thoughts on the 49ers Bengals?
Uh, yeah, I mean, the Bengals, they look like they're getting it together, looking like a pretty scary team once again. But the main topic, I mean, the 49ers, they're not playing the kind of football that we know that they can play. They are still missing Debo Samuel, which is a big part of that offense. But I mean, it's no excuses. They have to go in and win these kind of big games if they want to be at the top of this league. And I mean, they really haven't been doing that at all these past 3 weeks. And whatever is happening in that facility, in that locker room, they have to get it together and figure it out.
Yeah, they're going to have to. They're reeling right now. I mean, a 3-game skid from a team 3 weeks ago. I think a lot of people around the league thought, including myself, uh, were invincible. And they lost Debo Samuel, they lost Trent Williams, and they just haven't been able to get it together. But we'll talk more about that a little bit later on as we move on through the scores from Week 8. San Diego. I can't help but call the Chargers San Diego. The LA Chargers just whip up on the Chicago Bears. I think the quarterback controversy is over there. 30-13, Chargers over the Bears. And the Lions on Monday Night Football whip the Raiders 26-14. And I don't think that anybody's really surprised about the final in this particular matchup. The Raiders simply are not a very good ball club. That's not to take anything away from the Detroit Lions, who are now sitting at 6-2, and they are cruising along in the NFC North. We want to take a look at some NFL headlines. And the first headline I want to look at, I talked about Kirk Cousins tearing his Achilles tendon, gone for the year, ACL tear. And now you wonder what the Vikings are going to do, because Kirk Cousins has been playing some pretty good football this year. Uh, but he's going to be a free agent next year. He's 36 years old. And then you start to wonder if there might be some teams out there that could be interested. Well, should the Green Bay Packers consider perhaps next season, because this year looks like it's done, making a play for Kirk Cousins in free agency after a sample size of Jordan Love? Your thoughts on that, Stu?
Um, I could see the Packers maybe wanting to get a veteran quarterback, but I don't see Kurt wanting to go there. I think the connection with him and Jefferson is so strong. They kind of want to, stick together. And Kurt definitely has some choices to make, and he's probably going to want to go to a team that's either Super Bowl ready, like right now, and not trying to kind of rebuild all over again unless the money's right. Kurt definitely has been making some great money. He kind of started that trend of getting a fully guaranteed contract when he left Washington and went to Minnesota. So it can be an option for him, but I don't see him wanting to go there, and I don't see the Packers. They kind of heavily invested in Love. I see them kind of wanting to let him mature out and go ahead and develop their quarterback.
Caleb, your thoughts on a possible consideration of Green Bay going after Kirk Cousins next season?
I mean, like, yeah, as you said, Stu, they're probably gonna be looking for a veteran quarterback to come in, take, or at least uh, coach up Jordan Love a little bit, take him under his wing. But I don't think Kirk Cousins is uh, a good fit for that team right now, and or goodness gracious, and then can you pause it? I just
Oh no, hold on a second.
yeah. And then I mean Kirk Cousins, he's been playing some good football, but as you said, he has that great connection with Justin Jefferson, and I think he would like to stay with the Vikings, and he would like to go to, and if he does move, he would like to go to a team that is a contender to a Super Bowl. And I don't think the Packers, even with a veteran quarterback, would be at that spot right now. So I don't think they're going to be looking for Kirk
I
Cousins.
think if you look at what Aaron Rodgers was trying to, yes, well, I think if you look at what Aaron Rodgers was trying to convey to the Packer front office about, seriously, this is the dude. He's taking, all right, look, he's young. We have to give Jordan Love an opportunity. And right now he's struggling. He's struggling mightily. And, it's not all his fault that the Packers are 2-5. But he's given at least 3 or 4 games away. And, it doesn't look like things are getting better. And before you know it, the season's gotten completely away from Green Bay. And then you have to seriously consider whether or not this is the guy going forward. Then you add to the fact that Matt LaFleur's play calling has not put Jordan in the most favorable positions to succeed. Cannot put essentially a rookie quarterback in the situations that he's been put in. Play calling's been horrendous. And so, the defense hasn't played that well either. There's blame enough to go around. But when you think about what the Packers do have, if you think about the games they've lost, they could very easily have been won. I can go to the Falcon game where they lost by 1 point. I can go to the Raider game where Jordan threw 3 interceptions. You just gave the game away, a la Dak Prescott. You lost to the Denver Broncos at Reliant Stadium, a game that was in your hands, threw a pick, lost that one. And you start to look at the games the Packers have lost that very well. They could be sitting at 5-1 right now. They played well enough to be 5-1. They're 2-5. And I think it could be 5-2. But that being said, just food for thought. I know Kirk Cousins is going to be a free agent next year. If this thing goes south, Green Bay better start thinking seriously about what they're going to do. You don't invest your future into someone that's not that guy. You follow Brett Favre, you follow Aaron Rodgers, then you're expecting someone to be a modicum of those two. You don't have to be first ballot Hall of Famer. Dude, you got to play better football than that. Of course, I'm biased. I'm a Packer fan. We move on. The next headline: the Los Angeles Rams were destroyed by the Dallas Cowboys, 43-20. That final score does not reflect how badly they were beaten. Stu, I offer this question to you: are the Rams who we thought they were?
I believe so. You know, they're a decent team. They're not world beaters. I mean, they're not. I don't look at the Rams and say, "Oh man, the Rams." They definitely have talent in that wide receiver position. We know Matt Stafford can throw. He can ball out. He got injured, but they're definitely having some struggles on the defensive side of the ball, and they're definitely having some struggles with the leadership. I mean, I think that falls on McVay. McVay is the leader of that team. He is the head coach, and he has won a Super Bowl with that team, and he has to get his team in a better and put them in better situations and get them ready to play ball. And I don't think he's done that. I don't think that they've shown to be a consistent team. Um, I don't think that they've shown since that Super Bowl win that they kind of from a cap point and from a draft point, they kind of put all their marbles, all their eggs into one basket, and they accomplished their goal. But they've been kind of rebounding since then. And right now, I just think they're kind of a middle of the pack type of team. Still a lot of games left in the season. Will they try to creep into the playoffs? They might try to make a run, but as of right now, I think that they are who we thought they were.
Caleb, your thoughts?
Uh, yeah, definitely the Rams. They are who we thought they were. They're not great. I feel like we kind of got a little bit excited off of them uh, early in the season with that new receiver, Puka, and uh, Matt Stafford. He was supposed to be better. He's been playing okay games, but as he said, Stu, they're at most middle of the pack. I it's gonna be a real tough. It's gonna be real tough for them to even make wild card at this point. And I mean, they're nothing special. Like you said, since they won that Super Bowl, uh, they really haven't been. So I don't think anything's gonna change.
So I look at the Rams and I expect the Dallas Cowboys to destroy an inferior team the way they did the Rams. And I don't look at the Rams as inferior, but that's how they were treated by the Cowboys on Sunday. And you just kind of wonder, you look at the way the Rams season has gone, and I think they're 3-5, not an impressive record. And then they were just stomped on. I mean, the Cowboys stomped a mud hole in them. Okay. And Dallas will do that again to an inferior ball club. and that's kind of what the Rams look like to me. And I'm starting to wonder if they really are who we thought they were. I mean, I don't think they're as bad as what Dallas did to them. I think they're a decent team. They'll win more than 500. They'll have a better than 500 season. Um, Beyond that, maybe not even a play. They may not even be a playoff team. They might be like, I don't know, 9-8 or something like that. And I expected them to win like 11 or 12 games. And they don't look like they're
Hmm.
on pace for that. We got a lot of football left still. We're just beyond the first quarter of the season, getting actually to the midway part of the second quarter. We'll see what happens. Next headline are the Chiefs after they lost to Denver on Sunday, 24-9 at Reliance Stadium in Denver. Are they? I mean, they're in trouble offensively. I think we can honestly agree that they're having some troubles on offense. Or do we attribute their loss to the Broncos just a bad day at the office, Stu?
Um, yeah, hearing that maybe Patrick Mahomes had the flu or whatever he was going through, and he still decided to play. They wanted him to play. He definitely didn't have his best game. He definitely, you could tell he was going through something. They kind of seemed off offensively. Not scoring, not having a touchdown. It's uncharacteristic with that team. With the offensive talent, offensive genius of Andy Reid, and just how that team performs. Even if they lose, we've never seen. I don't even remember seeing them not score a touchdown. So um, definitely just seemed like a one-off type of situation. I don't know his condition or if he has the flu or whatever. The talk was that he did have the flu. If that's the case, then everybody can't be like Jordan, man. But
Well, you
you
got
know,
that
I, I just think that if he had the flu, and God bless him, man, because the average person with the flu would not even be on the field, yet alone, being able to do anything, So I just think it was one of those one-off games, and I think that the Broncos caught them at the right time, and they got some things cooking with Russ over there too.
Caleb, your thoughts on this matchup with the Chiefs?
I mean, yeah, it could be just one bad game. But then again, his receivers weren't helping him either. Uh, Patrick Mahomes, he really had no help. It was just him, and especially if that team knew he was sick, they should have stepped up. They should have rallied around him and put on their best game. And we really didn't see anything from both sides of the ball. The defense, they weren't too great. Uh, and the offense, they weren't doing absolutely anything. But I feel like it's the Kansas City Chiefs. They should be able to bounce back. And I definitely wouldn't count them out anything.
So, ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the Maurice Brown Comedy Show NFL Edition on Bog Radio in association with 24 Flicks. Want to welcome to the show our good buddy Aaron Too Tall Moore. Aaron, what's going on? Been a long time, buddy.
What's up, man?
Good to see you, man. Good to see you breaking down some of the games that were played this past week 8, and we're looking at the Kansas City Chiefs situation and asking, are they in trouble offensively, or was it just a bad day at the office, Aaron?
I believe it was a bad day at the office for the Chiefs. I expect them to bounce back, but I think they do need another weapon besides Kelsey. Um, they need to find somebody to step up. I didn't see them make any trades today, not that I'm aware of.
Well, I
Uh,
can tell you what the first trade needs to be Taylor Swift. My bad. Go ahead on, Aaron. Keep going. My bad, dude. My bad. My bad.
maybe. I mean, maybe. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe they got caught up in that facade of Taylor Swift going to
Yeah.
Denver. They didn't take Denver that seriously. So, but I mean, I expect them to bounce back. But I do believe they need another weapon. Besides, I mean, they had 5 turnovers. You have 5 turnovers. You're not. You're not gonna win too many games. I don't care who you playing in the NFL.
Yes, sir. That's a great point, and I think that, and I said it before. Taylor Swift reminds me of Jessica Simpson following Tony Romo. And I'm telling you right now, all that hype, the focus comes down to who's up there in the press box. And do you think Travis Kelsey's really thinking about football? I mean, every five
I mean,
seconds he's looking up there, he's trying to find out where Taylor is. Hey, the ball, Patrick, the ball. Anyway, I tell you, dude, that stuff can catch up with you. But honestly, they're dropping a lot of passes. I mean, Patrick Mahomes is putting that ball right on the button, and guys are just dropping the ball.
Mhm.
And I think that's the biggest issue the Chiefs have is receivers simply not. I mean, dude, they've got a serious case of the dropsies. So can it be fixed? I mean, yeah, I think it can be fixed. You can best believe Andy Reid is going to address that and find out who wants to work at Walmart next week. Okay. Hey, kid, son, you got to hold on to that rock now.
Yeah.
So it's going to be addressed. I think the Chiefs will be fine. I do believe it was a bad day at the office. I want to switch gears over to the Dallas Cowboys, as we mentioned earlier, beat the Rams down like they owned them. Do we drink? Here we go again, Aaron. I got to throw it out. Do we drink the Kool-Aid on the Cowboys, or are they the same old boys, good but not great? Aaron, I'm gonna let you take this one.
Well, I mean, the proof is in the pudding. They the same old boys.
Okay, yes, sir.
If you look at the teams they won, they beat all teams with losing records. And then when they go up against the big boys, they falter.
Yeah.
So until they start
Yes.
beating the big boys, well, they could prove it this week. They got the Eagles this week.
Yes, they
So
do.
we'll see how that goes. But I mean I think how I know how it's gonna go. I think the Eagles gonna pull it out because for some reason when they play these big boys, they fold.
They do. They
They fold.
typically fold. They typically fold.
So
Stu, your thoughts?
Oh yeah, I definitely agree. It's division, so anything can happen in divisional games, but I think we all know that Philly's the better team. The Cowboys, they'll have this run, and then their fans will go off talking about we going to the playoffs and all this stuff, or we gonna go all the way this time. But then, a week later, they know where to be found. So I just think it's one of those one-off games where, they got a good win. Let's see if they can be consistent. That's the biggest thing. Can Dak be consistent? Can they put together a string of good wins together against a better team in the Philadelphia Eagles coming this week? I don't think so.
Caleb, your thoughts on the Cowboys and the Kool-Aid?
Yeah, don't drink the Kool-Aid. As in the title, they're good, not great. They can beat up a bad team. They'll seem, oh wow, they're a good team. But as you said, it's as soon as they go up against someone good, someone actually good, they just fold. They can't get the job done, and I feel like that's exactly what's going to happen against Philly this weekend. So
Yeah, I'm not sold on Dallas at all. I mean, I think they're a good team. I think whenever their backs are against the wall, you find out who they really are. And they're a team that doesn't deal with adversity. They don't deal with being hit in the mouth very well. And you stick them one good time, you give them a big time gut shot in the ribs, and they don't bounce back from that. But if you go out there and you make it easy for them, yeah, they will destroy you. But they have to prove, to your point, Caleb, and Aaron and Stu, you as well, that they can win against the big boys
Most definitely.
and handle the and I mean handle their business. So no, I'm not ready to crown Dallas. It was a big win, but I'm not ready to crown. Let's move on to the next headline. The Cincinnati Bengals got an impressive win over the San Francisco 49ers in San Francisco. And over the last 3 weeks, Joe Burrow has been playing like Joe Burrow, slowly coming back to that Burrow to Jamar Chase connection. and they're starting to hit their groove. My question is, are the Bengals back to being the team to be feared in the AFC? Aaron, your thoughts?
Absolutely, 100%. But
Okay.
behind now, they started out 1-3. They lost the 3 games, but that was a I would say a 55% Joe Burrow. Now Joe Burrow's 100%.
Yeah.
It's a different story now. So in the AFC, uh, I would put. Oh man, I mean, you still got to go through Kansas City. I got Kansas City, but I got the Bengals right on their hip, and I would not be surprised if they make a run out of this and they start collecting some games. But yes, AFC,
Yeah. Yeah.
Cincinnati
100%. I,
Bengals,
I could definitely see that. Yeah.
Super Bowl bound. I would say
Okay.
that Super Bowl bound.
Okay. Listen, they're looking, they're starting to get that look
Mhm.
again. Stu, your thoughts?
Most definitely. Burrow he looks like the Burrow that we're used to seeing that we were looking for in the beginning of the year. You know, and he did it against a team that's not playing their best ball right now. So we're still trying to find it. The crazy thing, I was just looking up a stat. The last 3 games from the 49ers, we scored 17 points the last 3 games. And I was like, it's kind of crazy. But yeah, Joe looks good, man. He looks like that guy that is gonna give Mahomes,
Yeah.
the
Joe,
Bills and everybody else a run for their money.
Caleb, your thoughts?
Yeah, like as I was saying, back in the beginning of the season when they got off to that slow start, I was saying they've they've been known to get off to like that 0-3, 1-2 start. Then they heat up real quick, and then you have to watch out for them. And I think they got into their groove, and they're back to being on your calendar, and they're going to be a hard team to play against. Just know that.
I think so. I think they're starting to get that stride again, and I think that a 55% Joe Burrow is what we've seen out of the gate, first 3 or 4 games of the year, and they were able to get a couple of wins out of that. Now they're starting to look like the Bengals. The Burrow Chase connection is back, and Buffalo don't want to see it. Kansas City doesn't want to see it. Miami doesn't want to see it because Joe is not scared. Joe isn't scared, y'all. I'm just saying. And so, yeah, they're the team to be. They're starting to be that team to be
Mhm.
feared. And Kansas City better get their act together because Joe Burrow is not afraid of calling Arrowhead Burrowhead. He's done it before. He's not afraid. He'll do it. And so, look, yeah, we better watch out. I want to switch gears again. I want to go to your 49ers, Stu, and talk about them. They're on a 3-game losing streak. And I have to ask the question, do the 49ers have to have Deebo Samuels back on the field to be successful, or do they have deeper issues?
Um, I mean, Debo would help, but I definitely think it's some deeper issues going on,
Yeah.
especially circling around the defensive side of the ball. Right now, we're having some issues between the defensive coordinator Wilkes and Kyle Kyle Shanahan being on the right page. Kyle kind of called him out in the media. They had a talk, and I like the way Wilkes responded. He said that out of his 17 years of coaching, this is the first time he's actually learning a system as he's coaching one because he was asked to incorporate what we were already doing and successful with into his scheme. And that's the issue that we're having. We're having a tug of war over schemes right now. And Shanahan wants it kind of done the way it was done with D'Amico and Robert Salah. And, Wilkes kind of wants to do his thing. But right now, he's going to have to get with the program. We have way too much talent on the defensive side of the ball to be, certain little, because people watching film, they saw what happened the first 5 games, so or the first 4 games. So okay, we got that. and they're making adjustments to it, and Wilkes isn't making adjustments to the adjustment. So once teams see what you're doing and they make adjustments to it, you have to combat that. And sometimes you have to do it quickly in game. We don't need to watch a whole game of film to see, oh, we should have done this differently. You're watching it. You need to make those corrections there. Maybe you need to get on the sideline and get out of that warm, cozy booth and actually look at these men in the face and see that, okay, we can get some communication going on and say, hey, man, this is going on here. Make this change here. So I think that's kind of what's going on. And from the offensive side of the ball, Purdy needs to settle down. He's been playing good, but those turnovers, we gotta get better with those turnovers. So Debo would be a great addition. We would love to have Debo back. It makes things a lot easier, but I think there are some deeper issues going on with the 49ers.
Caleb, your thoughts about the state of the San Francisco 49ers?
Yeah, as Stu said, Debo is definitely a big part of that 49er offense. He helps a lot. He's a great receiver. Uh, but Brock Purdy has to get it together. He's not looking like the Brock Purdy that we've come to see. And if he can get it back together, even without Debo Samuel, they should be able to go out there and perform and win these games. And again, another thing, the defense, as Stu said, also they have to get it together. Their coordinator, he needs to adjust, as he said, and I agree with everything you said, Stu. They need to figure it out on both sides of the ball and get back to winning.
Now, I'm going to throw this out, Stu, and I'm going to throw this out. And I hate to be the I told you so, but I told you. They were doing a lot of trash talking after they stomped Dallas, and they're like, they ain't trying to see us. They ain't trying to see us again. They don't want to see us again. I'm like, whoa, hey, wait, guys, turn it down a little bit. Turn it down a little bit. And since then, they've been on a 3-game losing streak. George Kittle and Debo, they were talking mad trash. And I'm like, okay, guys, just take it easy. And all of a sudden, they've fallen on hard times. And Steve Wilkes, the defensive coordinator, no one was complaining about him the first 5 weeks of the season. I mean, it was all love, baby. You know what I mean? We love Steve. He calls this, he calls that. We getting after the quarterback. We win it. We doing a thing. And now a little bit of adversity. And what happens in Aaron Two told more? You know how it is in football locker rooms. Finger pointing. You did it. He did it. Coach did it. See, winning solves everything. And so I'm looking at the 49ers kind of implode. And I'm like, I still think they've got a great team. And I think Brock Purdy now is starting to see that when things aren't so rosy, he's not able to just kind of calmly go out there and methodically execute Kyle Shanahan's offense as he has been doing, because adversity is now hit. So, I mean, look, there's a lot of football left. Nobody's throwing the 49ers away. I mean, they've got just as good a shot as anybody to win the whole thing. But right now, they're having some adversity. And we'll see what happens going forward. I got to go to our next headline. I'm going to turn this one over to you, Aaron, because my question is, and I told everybody last week, I said the Commanders are going to beat the Eagles. They have the Eagles number. And they gave the Eagles, dude, every single thing they could give them. And the Eagles found a way to overcome it. I think the Commanders probably played the Eagles tougher than anybody's played them all year, and in the last 2 years. But the Eagles found a way to overcome it. My question to you, Aaron, are the Eagles the toughest team in football?
The toughest team, I say they're the most versatile team because they could beat you. They could beat you multiple ways.
Yeah.
They could throw the ball. They got, I would say right now, the best receiver in the NFL in Brown. They got they if you want to play the defensive game, they got the defense to do that. They could play any style. They could run the ball good enough if they need to. And one thing I noticed about Jalen Hurts, and I would say the whole team,
Okay.
is it's always the same attitude. If you look on this, whether they losing or if they winning,
Yeah.
it's always the same.
Yeah.
Even when Washington was up 14-3, I was they showed Jalen Hurts on the sideline. It's same. Nothing falters. It's the same. When they
Yeah.
when they got the lead, face the same.
Yeah.
Everything's the same. They
Yeah.
never get scared. They never falter. They just keep grinding. And then you start to see that even though we should have won that game, um, uh, a quarterback he missed the open wide receiver in the end zone. Going back, look at the film. It was a 4th and 1. We had a open receiver in the end zone, but he missed it. Um, but the Eagles right now, I believe they're the best team in the NFL.
Yeah.
That's just my
Yeah.
my opinion. They the best team in the NFL. So I mean, to me they the Super Bowl team. To me, the 49ers better get it together because to get to the Super Bowl, they're gonna have to get through the Eagles.
Yeah,
So
I totally agree.
they're
I
gonna have to
totally
get it
agree.
together because the Eagles are for real.
They are. They really are. Stu, your thoughts?
Most definitely. As of right now, I think that they are the toughest team in football. Like I agree with Aaron. I think they are the most complete team. They can beat you in a number of amount of ways. They win the battle in the trenches, offensive line, defensive line. Those guys get after you. Jalen does enough. I'm sitting here looking at these stats, and I'm like, the Commanders should have won that game. Not just saying it, but when you actually looking at the numbers, y'all had over 100 more total yards than them. Everything was pretty much even.
Mhm.
You know, y'all even had more. Y'all had the ball longer, time of possession. Everything. It was just like
You
they
know,
find ways to win,
but you
and
know
that's
this.
what
I
I
ain't
was
mean to
about.
cut, I ain't mean to cut you off, but
Mhm,
you could add on. Actually, Stu, you could add on to what I'm about to say.
mhm.
But the Eagles do. They make the plays when you most need a play to be made.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what they
Yeah.
do.
that
Yeah.
clutch gene.
Hmm.
That's what makes them so scary. Is even when they're not playing their best ball, they find a way to win, and that's the mark of a good team. Because when it's nasty, you win, and when it's good, you win, and
Hmm.
that's what separates them from a lot of the teams in the NFL, especially the Dallas Cowboys.
Caleb, your thoughts about the Eagles being the toughest team in football?
Uh, oh yeah. Right now, they're the only team that I think I can confidently say that are above everybody else by quite a large margin. I mean, they win the tight games, as you said, Stu. They fight to the end, and like they don't ever give up. I mean, that was a nail biter on Sunday. 30, 38 to well, it was
31.
35, 31, and it they fought to the end, and they that's what matters. They play hard nosed football every weekend, and uh, if they keep doing that, it's a guarantee to be in the Super Bowl for them.
Yeah. Yeah. There's no doubt about that. And as we say that, I want to switch gears and look at the top five teams as we're heading towards week 9. like a locomotive, but this season is getting on down the road, guys. So we're gonna look at my AFC Power Five, and I have them listed as follows. I'm sorry, that is not for this week. Those guys are definitely not who I'm going to pick for this week. The AFC top five for this week are as follows. I've got the Ravens number one, followed by the Jags, Dolphins. The Chiefs are in the 4 spot, followed by Cincinnati. Stu, your thoughts?
Um, I kind of I like the Ravens being that high, but I in my opinion, I got the Chiefs number 2.
Oh, okay, okay.
They're 6-2, you know, along with the Ravens, the Jags. Everybody's 6-2, the Dolphins. But I think, you know, I'll be honest with you, I think if it wasn't for, you know, Mahomes and company having the flu, they would have beat Denver. But it happens, you know, they lost. But I definitely think that the Chiefs are number 2. That's the only thing I would change on that list.
Okay, Aaron, your thoughts?
I agree. I like the list. I probably agree with Stu and put the Chiefs at number 2. But
Okay.
other than that, yeah, I like the top 5.
Caleb, your thoughts on the list?
Yeah, I agree with the list. Ravens at 1. They've been playing good football. Uh, I don't think I'd put the Chiefs at 2. I'd switch them with the Dolphins, so I'd put them at 3. Uh, I mean, they're a great team. Can't count them out. Of anything, it's just one bad game. But I mean, they did lose, so I mean, you can't. I wouldn't put them at 2 right now. But other than that, yeah, I'd agree with this list.
Okay, so the NFC Power Five, I've got the Eagles in the number 1 spot, followed by, here's a surprise, Seattle. Cowboys in the 3 hole, Lions and 49ers round out the list. Stu, your thoughts?
I don't like Seahawks,
Okay.
but I'm not mad at it. You know, to be honest with you, we deserve to be at number 5 right now. You know, the last 3 weeks we have been playing our best ball. This is not the Power 5 is not who got the best roster, who's playing the best ball right now.
Right.
And I would have to I would switch the lines with the Cowboys, but I would have to agree with that. But be honest with you, I agree with that list. I'm not mad at it at all.
Okay. Aaron, your thoughts?
Um, yeah, I think I put the Lions at number 2 in front of the Seahawks. The Cowboys, I keep the Cowboys right where they are at number 3. I think I like the Lions at number 2.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I think they got something. Even though Baltimore, um, showed them up a little bit, but they bounced back. Um, they bounced back this week. But I like the Lions at number 2. Put the Seahawks at number 4.
Well,
Actually, I put the Niners in front of the Seahawks and put the Seahawks at 5.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I know. Okay, Caleb, your thoughts on the list?
Uh, I think I'd have to agree with this list. It's pretty fair. It's the teams that have been playing decent football in the NFC. The Eagles are above and beyond any of the other teams on this list as of right now. But I think I agree with it.
The reason I have the Lions down at the 4 spot, closer to 5, is because the Ravens turned them into the hot dog man.
Yeah, I figured that. I
Hot
figured that.
dogs, yeah. Hey, look, hey man, look.
I figured
Hey man, look.
that.
You cannot be a Super Bowl contender now and get stopped like that. I'm just saying. I'm just
Yeah.
saying. They're 6-2. They got a nice record, and they're gonna win the NFC. We get all of that. But when it comes to the big boy table, hey, I don't know now. I mean, Seahawks not gonna go to Baltimore and do that. Okay, they're not gonna do that. Hey, even the Cowboys, who have the 49ers, only will do that to the Cowboys. Anyway, that being said, that's my only reason for kind of being a little bit, hesitant to give Detroit that kind of love. We're going to go to the NFL Power 5, and I have them as follows. The Eagles, number 1 team in the NFL, followed by the Baltimore Ravens.
Ooh.
As of today, as you said, Stu, it's a week by week thing. Not the best roster, who's playing the best ball. And I got the Seahawks sitting at 3. Followed by the Jags playing good ball. I mean, there's no hijinks with the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're playing good ball. They're consistent. And then you got to look at the Dolphins sitting there 6-2. And that's my top five for the entire league. Stu, your thoughts?
I definitely I like Philly at 1. I like the Ravens at 2. Seattle, I'm not gonna put them up there. They haven't really pimp slapped nobody like that.
Okay.
I do like the Dolphins at the 3rd spot. They got a heck of a game coming up this week against the Chiefs. Um, and I probably put the Jags scare me more than Seattle does. The way they're playing with that quarterback and team, and
Okay.
I would probably put Seattle at the 5th spot.
Okay. Aaron, your thoughts?
Uh, NFL power ranking. I got Philly at 1. I got the Ravens at 2, and I got Miami at
Okay.
3. I got Miami at 3.
Okay.
I like the
Okay.
Dolphins, and I got the Chiefs at 4, and I think I'll put Jacksonville at 5 for right now.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Caleb, your
Forgot
thoughts on
about
the
the Chiefs.
list?
I agree with this list, but I'd scoot up the Jags and the Dolphins, and I'd definitely put the Seahawks at 5. I don't think they're they've proven, I think, enough for us to put them at 3 in the NFL yet, but they've been playing some good football. We can't take that away from them.
Good old
You
Gino.
really can't. Seattle's sitting at 5-2, and they're quietly sitting at 5-2, and they're winning. And nobody's really looking at Seattle, but they're playing every week. They're playing good ball.
Hmm.
And a matter of fact, they went into Detroit and beat the Lions. A lot of people forget that they went into Detroit
Hmm.
and won that ball game. So people just are not thinking about Seattle. They're good. They're quietly good, and I think they're going to sneak up on some teams. But that's just my personal feelings and thoughts on that, Stu. I know it's hard as a division rival for you to give them any love. I get that. I get that. But I'm just saying, hey, watch out for the Seattle Seahawks. They're playing some really good football. Let's look at Week 9 coming up, and we got coming up on Thursday night on Prime Video at 8:20. The Titans taking on the Steelers, which I think is going to be a really good matchup because I think the kid Will Levis. I think that the Titans are going with Will Levis, who I think is a better alternative than Ryan Tannehill. I've just never believed in Ryan Tannehill. Don't know what the kid Will Levis can do, but they got Derrick Henry, and the Titans are always unpredictable. And the Steelers playing without Kenny Pickett. I don't know if Pickett's going to be available for that game because they were cruising along until he went out. We will see on that. And at 9:30 in the morning on Sunday in London, across the pond, Miami takes on the Kansas City Chiefs. Here's a game, and I'm going to let you guys take this one because I think the Chiefs are going to come ready to play football, and they're going to redeem themselves. The Dolphins don't like good teams either. Your thoughts on this matchup, Stu?
It's definitely gonna come down to the IV. They gotta pump Patrick with some good stuff because he was just coming off the flu, and I don't know, especially with jet lag and the traveling across the pond, like what type of shape he's going to be in. I know he's a spectacular athlete and he performs at a high level, but with all the things going on, if he's not at his best, they could definitely lose to Miami. Wacky things happen across the pond. We've seen it time and time before. Miami does have that high firepower, and I honestly believe that whichever team decides to travel first to across the pond and not wait to the last minute. If you can go Tuesday, go Tuesday, go Wednesday, get that time adjustment with your bodies and just getting used to being down there because that seems to have a big effect. But I'm gonna go with Miami, man. I don't know what type of shape Patrick and company is. I don't know if Taylor Swift is gonna be there, so I'm gonna go ahead and go with Miami.
Oh no, 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 Oh, no, but she's gonna be there. I mean, Taylor Swift being in London ain't nothing but a thing. Okay, Aaron, Aaron, what you think about this matchup here, bro?
even even with Taylor Swift being there, I think Kansas City gonna pull it out. Um,
Okay,
I don't got them turning the ball over 5 times. I think Patrick Mahomes gonna be okay. Um, they got all types of stuff they could give him, put in his body to make sure he 100%.
oh yeah,
So I think he's gonna be fine. Um, I think they're gonna come to play. It's gonna be a good game. I'm not saying like they're gonna come in there and smoke Miami, but it's gonna be a good game. But I think when it's all said and done, I think Kansas City is gonna pull this one out.
okay. Caleb, your thoughts on this matchup?
If Kansas City can go in there and put points on the board early and kind of knock Miami off their feet, as you said earlier, they don't like playing uh, a a hard game of football. They're more of a finesse team, and when you hit them in their mouth early, they kind of have a struggle coming back up uh, later in the game. So if Kansas City can go out there and do that, I think they have a good shot at it. But Miami is a great team. They have a lot of firepower, and if you don't watch out, they'll definitely beat you by a lot. So it'll be a good game to watch. But I think I'm gonna take Kansas City on this one.
And I'm going to go with the Chiefs as well. The Dolphins have to prove to me they can beat the big boys, and they haven't done it as of yet. So I'm going to go with the Chiefs as well. At 1 o'clock on Sunday, we have the Vikings and the Falcons. Arizona takes on the Cleveland Browns. Joshua Dobbs has been traded. I don't know if they're going to go with Kyler Murray in this game or not at this point for the Cardinals. I really don't think it matters very much. The Rams and the Packers square off at Lambeau Field. The Commanders take on the Patriots. The Bears at the Saints. The Seahawks take on Baltimore. That might be the marquee matchup of the weekend, along with Dallas and Philadelphia. The Bucks go to Houston to take on the Texans. At 4:05, it's the Colts and the Panthers in Carolina. 4:25, the Giants take on the Raiders. And the Cowboys at 4:25 take on the Philadelphia Eagles. That night, another marquee matchup, Buffalo going to Cincinnati on Sunday night. And then on Monday night at 8:15 on ABC and ESPN, the LA Chargers take on the New York Jets. Guys, we're going to have to get out of here. This has been a great show. I appreciate your expert analysis. And we're going to get out of here. I want to let everybody know that, first of all, happy Thursday morning to everyone out there. If you're coming in at the end, you're like, man, I missed the predictions. You can hear this show in its entirety on Spotify, where all major podcasts are heard. And you can also watch this on KCHF TV. We show this show periodically on KCHF TV, the NFL edition in Albuquerque, New Mexico, every Saturday night at midnight, and then again at 8 p.m. So if you came in late, we got you. You can watch this on YouTube, the whole thing. You didn't miss anything. You just want to make sure you see this before Sunday. And I think you can make that happen. Stu, Too Tall, Caleb, thank you guys for being on the show. And until next week, may the peace of Jesus Christ be with you and your families, guys. God bless you.